Okay, cool. So what is responsive web design? I mean, what exactly is responsive web design? So in this class, we are supposed to be doing a brush through of week three LMS content. That's lesson That'll be lesson 7, 8, and 9. Okay, so starting from the beginning here, the lesson 7 covers responsive web design. Okay, so now what exactly is responsive web design? And I mean, what does responsive web design mean? Okay, so it's literally just grammar. Okay, what it simply means is that building a website and having it look good across all devices. Okay, it looks good on your desktop, it looks good on your tablet, it looks good on your mobile device. That is what responsive web design means. Okay, so you have an image that is wide filling the screen, and then when you are reducing the screen size, it's supposed to just adjust. It's not supposed to maintain that width and overflowing out of the screen device. All of those things, okay, all of those things is what we call responsive web design. Okay, and it enhances user experience and accessibility. Imagine you go to a website and you're trying to, I mean, imagine you are using, which website can I say? Um, I'm trying to think of. I mean, imagine you're just on a website, you're on someone's website, or you are on a business website, and then you cannot view the things properly. It's going to distort your user experience. It's going to give you this weird feeling, and then even if you get to do whatever you want to do on that website at that time, you won't want to come back again. Okay, and the essence of UX is to have your user to always want to come back, because I mean they enjoyed their stay. Okay, someone came to your house, they enjoyed their stay. I mean, if next time if you invite them, they won't hesitate twice to come to your house. Okay, unlike someone that comes to your house and I mean didn't enjoy their stay. Okay, so when next you invite them, they be like, no, don't worry, I'm busy. I'm not free of stuff. So yeah, that's basically what responsible design is. Having your user to enjoy their stay on the website. They should be able to, the website should look good across all mobile devices, regardless of what screen size my device is. I should still be able to enjoy it. I should still be able to view it comfortably. Okay, so that's basically what responsive web design means, and you can actually achieve this. Yeah, you can achieve this by what? By using flex and grid, using relative units, and also most importantly using media queries. Okay, using media queries. So, and that is what will make us to start with what? Media query, or sorry, breakpoint rather. So what exactly is breakpoint? I mean, what exactly is a breakpoint? So when we say breakpoint here, breakpoint simply means a specific screen size, a specific screen width where you want the layout to change. Okay, so if I want the layout to change, so say this is my entire browser window. If I want the layout to change here, that's a breakpoint. If I want it to change here, that's another breakpoint. And if I want it to change here, that's also another breakpoint. Are we together? So breakpoint basically means what? That size of the screen where you want the layout to change. Okay, that's basically what breakpoint means. Okay, now so that will now bring us towards now. How do we now adapt breakpoint and media query together to have to achieve responsiveness? So I'm going to have an H1 here. Okay. Sorry. So and then this H1 is going to hold let's just say um just a text. Okay. Now we're going to give this H1 a class name, a class of what? A class of let's just call it let's call it text. Now we're going into the CSS now. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to find that text and give it what? First and first, let's see that this is working fine, just to be sure. Yeah, so it works fine. Okay. Sorry. So it works fine. So now what do we want to do now? Now let's leave this. Now let's change the text size also. Sorry, that'll be font size. And let's change it to like 100 pixel. What's that? Okay. Now, so now when you now want to target media, when you now want to use media query, because media query is supposed to help you change layout sizes of your content as the screen reduces. So you can say at a particular screen size, I want this screen to I want at a particular screen size here, I want this layout to change. Okay, so now let's get on. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to do, let me just put this here at media. Okay, when we do at media, it means you want to start applying media query. Okay, so this is media query. Now you now want to say that what you now want to put the break point, the point at which you want this style to start applying. Guys, are we together, please? The point at which you want this style to start applying. Okay, so now you now put that here now. Okay, so now we can now do this. I can see max width. Hold on, give me a minute. I'm going to explain what this is. And 768 pixel. Okay, and here now is where you now put every style that you want to change. You know, someone just raised their hand. Oh, you can't see my screen. Can anyone else see my screen, please?
I can see your screen.
Okay, cool. So
Yes, I can see your
Tawhid,
screen.
Tawhid, I don't know. Thank God everybody can see my screen. So yeah, moving on. So you know the way we have our style here. We have our style in the rules just that way. So we would also now have the style for this screen size. Okay, we'll now have the style for this screen size in here. Okay, now let's go on. So now say that at max width, we want to what? Now change the text. First and first, let's change the text color. Okay, to I mean just for test, let's change it to let's just do cornflower blue. Okay, and then let's change the font size also to 100 pixel just for test. Yeah, I like you press doing this. Now, what does this what does this max width means? So what max width means? What max width means is that any screen size from 768 downward should have this style. Okay, any screen size from 768 downward should have what? This style. That means on big screen is going to have this, and on small screen is going to have this. Guys, am I making sense, please?
Yes, sir.
Guys, am I making sense? So it
Yes,
means
you
that
are, sir.
on this screen you should adapt this, and on small screens means that screens that are from 768 pixel downward, you should adapt what? You should adapt this. So give me a minute. Let me paste. Let me just give us the basic, the common breakpoints actually. So these are the common breakpoints. Sorry. So these are the common breakpoints. So we have 320 pixel for small phones, okay, and then we have 768 pixel for tablet screens. We have 1024 pixel for laptops, and we have from 1200 pixel upward. Those are desktop screens. Okay, so these are the basic breakpoints. Let me just comment it out. So these are the basic ones. These are the basic breakpoints. Now, we're not saying that at max width, when you do at max width, it means that from that size that you specify downward, that means from 768 pixel downward should have this style. But if you do at min width, what does this mean? It means that, I mean, you see that immediately the color change. It means that from 769 upward, it should have this style. So max width means from that size downward, you want to specify the style. When you do min width, means that from that size upward. Guys, am I making sense, please?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Now, so now let me change this back to max width. Sorry, I'm going to change back to min width actually. So we see now, because the screen is currently bigger than 768 pixel. Okay, it is what? It is showing what? Blue. And okay, let me just reduce the size of this. It's not supposed to be 50 50. Let me just put 50 pixel here. Oh god, how do I do this? So when I reduce this, you see that it changed. Okay, we can see that, right? You can see that. So why is this happening? It's basically because of what we have here. We're saying that when the screen is from 768 pixel downward, apply this style, and when it is more than 768, apply this style. So now let's talk about the mobile first approach. Okay, so mobile first approach, yeah, what we currently have here, okay, is not mobile first. Okay, what mobile first approach means is that the root style that you're going to be writing in here, okay, the base styling that you're going to be putting in here has to be for mobile. And then the media queries will be for what? The big screen. Remember, as English, mobile first. Mobile first. So the base styling is going to be what? For the mobile screens. While the bigger, I'm sorry, while the media query is going to cover what? The bigger screen. So to adapt this to mobile first approach, mobile first approach, this is the base style. Now, this will not be max width again. It's now become what? Min width. That's minimum width. Meaning that what? From 769 upward, I want you to have this style. And for 768 downward, you should get this. Because this is what? Mobile first approach. You are putting the style for the mobiles first. And then any other screen that is aside, that is bigger than the mobile screen, should get this. Guys, are we together, please?
No.
Okay. Sorry, can I just say something?
I say we are together.
Oh, awesome. So yeah, basically that's what mobile first approach means. So even when you are building with Tailwind, when we get there, mobile first approach still means that your base styling, your base utilities are going to be for what? Mobile. While when you start adding the screen sizes would be for what? Would be for what? The big screens. Okay. So now let's just dance around let's just dance around this a little bit again. Okay. Uh sorry. Yes. Okay, so now we've talked about the breakpoint, we'll talk about media queries. Now let's talk about someone is raising their hand. If you're raising your hand, please go on. Ask question. Yeah,
Sorry.
Kenneth.
Which editor are you using?
Oh, this. Okay, so
Yes.
this is an online editor, an online ID. This is CodePen. This is
Okay.
codepen.io. Let me put the link in the chat so in case you want to grab this. So that's codepen.io. Actually, you can, if you create an account, you can have your pens, you can have your pen here, meaning that you can have code, you can write your HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in here, saved online, and you can also share it with people. And I mean, this is what we're going to be using to submit. Mm, okay, no, let me get to that part. So yeah, um, that is that about that. So now let's move on to okay, now we've talked about CSS units. Okay, we have, okay, let me say this, let me ask. We have how many types of units? How many types of CSS units do we have, Nkechi? NK.
Yes, sir.
You said unit.
Yeah, how many type of CSS units do we have?
I don't have an idea.
Okay, can someone help out? Kenneth, your hand
I
is
think
still.
two. Relative unit and absolute.
Ayantari, thank you very much. Victor, you are
Relative
very
unit
much
and
correct.
absolute unit.
We have two types of CSS units. We have the relative unit and then the absolute
Okay,
unit.
absolute.
We have the relative unit and then the absolute unit. So the relative units. Okay, so Ayantari, can you meet your mic back? Yeah, sounds like you're still on the road. So Victor, can you tell me the difference between relative unit and absolute unit? Okay, sorry, Victor. Can you hear you?
I really, I really don't know how to differentiate it,
Okay, Nkechi, do
but I
you want
can
to
give
tell me?
example.
You can give examples. Okay, let's hold up on the example first. Nkechi, do you want to come in? Oh,
Okay, the okay, does someone want to speak? Okay. Let me allow the people that want to speak.
okay, come on, like go on, please.
Like absolute unit, like that they defined something like they cannot be changed, whether you change anything, whether the size is different. The law you put you will get. But relative, like they have to do like relative. It's like how will I put it? Relative this thing unit. They vary by browser. Each browser they have their different this thing. So when you use a relative unit here, there's another one it will show in another type of browser. That's why I understand it.
Mm, I mean, at first you do have a point. Okay, so let me just give you that. You do have a point. You do have a point, but I mean, you are not hitting the nail on the head the way I want it. Nkechi, do you want to go, or should I call someone else? Okay, Ayotade is raising his hand. Yeah, Ayotade, go on.
Relative unit and unit is in respect to the screen size. Why absolute unit does not change.
God bless you.
Um,
Relative unit is in respect to the screen size or in respect to the parent element. While absolute unit is fixed, is not going to change. For example, now let's come back here. Let's have a div here. Okay. I don't like the way this thing is not giving me intelligence. Why? Why are you not giving me intelligence now? Oh, it's not giving me intelligence. Okay, let's just maybe because I didn't log in. So um let's have a div here. Okay. Okay, now let's give this div a class name of what? A class name of what should we call it? What should we call it? What should we call it? What is this? Let's call this what can we call this? Let's just give it container, or let's call it container one. Okay. Now let's go to our let's have another one. Okay, let's call this container two now. Awesome. Now let's go into our CSS now. So now inside our CSS here now, okay, we want to style our dot what? Container one. Sorry, dot container one should have first. Let's do a width of what? Let's do an absolute unit. Let's do 300 pixel. Okay, and height of what? 500 pixel. Okay, and then let's give it a background color so that we can actually see it. Background color of let's just go with aqua for now. Aqua, not aqua. Okay, now we have this. Now for the second div, So I'm just going to copy this and just duplicate it. I don't know why it's not giving me 10 cents. It's getting low. So now for the second div now, we want to have the size now to be what? 50%. Now we are using what? A relative unit for that one. 50%. Let me give it a margin to the top so that we can actually see them separately. Margin top of less than 10 pixels for starter. Yeah, cool. So now we can see them separately. Also, going to change this also to how do they spell turquoise? This is another problem. Let's choose green. Okay. Now, cool. Now, I made the width of this to be what? 50%. And I made the width. So this aqua have what? 300 pixel. And this green has what? 50%. Now, you will now tell me what you notice. But let me please look closely because I'm going to ask you what you notice. So, tell me, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
So, can you tell me what you notice? I'm doing this again. Can you tell me what you notice?
I'll come in South South visit again.
Okay, so this is it. Let me just put the okay, so let me just remove the H1 so that we can focus on the parts that we are concerned about. So yeah, let's come back here now. Okay, so the H1 is out of the screen now. Please look closely. What did you notice?
Okay, I noticed that the blue is moving forward and the two are decreasing together.
Are they decreasing together? Are you sure?
So please do it again.
Okay. I will, no worry, no worries. I'm going to, no worry. So look at it here. Now
All
I'm
right, sir.
going, I'm going, I'm going,
Okay,
I'm going.
okay, okay.
So what did you notice?
Ah, hey, sir, I don't notice anything.
You don't notice anything.
But the thing is that, like, they're both decreasing. What I know.
Um, does someone want to help out?
Help me out, I beg.
Tawhid, Tawhid Rahman. Can you see my screen now? Before I even call you first. Okay, Tawhid is not speaking. Ayatade and Kenneth, you have your hands raised. Do you want to answer?
Me, I was just laughing.
You can drop your hand actually.
Okay.
Can I
Okay.
ask? Okay, can
Okay, so go on, yeah, please.
okay. The as you increase the VS, okay, it's not VS code there. Is as you use your as you are increasing this
The screen
screen where
size.
you have
The
your
screen size.
yes the turquoise, is it turquoise or aqua? The one above still remains the same.
Mm-hmm.
The size remains the same. While the green is okay, it's getting reduces as you change the size of the screen.
So that is just, I mean, it's as simple as that. Basically, tell me, please pay attention now. Look at this. This aqua is what 300 pixel. Okay, so let me just reduce
Mm-hmm.
the height of them 400. Let's do 400, 400, so that they don't go out of the screen, so we can see them clearly. Yeah. So now this aqua is 300 pixel, regardless of what is the screen size, it will remain 300 pixel because we are using an absolute unit. And absolute units are always fixed. Whatever you give to it is what it's going to have. It is not going to change because you're telling it to take 300 pixel, and then it will take 300 pixel all around. But for a relative unit like this, we say 50%. Okay, meaning that regardless of how big, how small your screen is, it will only take 50% of the screen size. So they are both following what we've instructed them to do, but they are doing it in different ways. Pixel, when you're using Pixel, Pixel is fixed across all of your screen size. It is going to be that way. 300 is going to be 300 on small screen, on big screen, on the largest screen, it's going to be 300. But when you use percentage, okay, when you use a relative unit, it is relatively to the screen size or to the parent element. Okay, it is relatively to the what? To the screen size or the parent element. You can see as the screen is reducing, this green remains. If you look at it, you can see that it's actually at the center of the screen. Let me do CSS reset so that we can actually see this properly. So padding 0, margin, sorry, 0, border box, sorry, box sizing. Box sizing will be border box. Yeah, box sizing in border box. So you can actually see that this is at the center of the screen. I mean, if I carry ruler and measure this thing, this is at the center of what? Of this browse this screen, this preview window. Okay, so regardless of how small or how big it is, it will, you see, it will always take just 50%. Now look at that aqua. Our screen is now smaller than 300 pixel, but it is still what? It is still extending out. You see that? Our screen is now smaller than 300 pixel, but it is what? It is still extending out. So that is why professionally, and I mean best practices, they would only tell you to use relative unit for what? For responsive styling. If you want your website to be responsive, you want it to be responsive, you need to use what? You need to use relative unit when you're styling. I mean, you can use absolute unit for font size, and I mean, yeah. But when it comes to what? When it comes to width, height, use relative unit. So there's also one other relative unit that I would like us to cover, which is what? VW. VW or VH. VW means viewport width. Okay, means that what? The available window that you're using to view the website, which is still basically 50% of what? The browser window. Okay, browser window. Now, let me show you something. Let me show us the difference between VW and percentage. Now, let's have a third div called what? Let's just copy and paste this one. And then let's change this to what? 3. Okay. Now this is 3. Now let's come in here. Inside this 3, we are going to have another div with a class of what? Child. Okay. Now, sorry, made a mistake here. So now let's go into the CSS now. Let's now see the difference between view width and what? And percentage now. I mean, if this is what we are able to cover today, this is what we are able to brush through and understand today, I mean, it's a take home for me. So now, width now, let's make our width of the what? The parent, the third div now. Let's make it let's just do 100% for start. No, don't let us do 100%. So let's do 70%. Okay. Okay, and then it's going to have an height of GHT of let's do 300 pixel also. And then it's going to have a background color of, let's just do blue. Okay, now that's the what? This is the third div. Okay, now for the child that is now inside that div dot child, we now want it to have a width of what? A width of what? Let's go with 50%. Now, height of what? Let's just do an height of, let's just do an height of 100%. Okay. And let's do a background color. Okay. Of what? Red. Guys, let's look at this closely. Let's look at this closely. Okay, so let's do something also. Let's give this second div also a child. Okay, so we'll have to put this in here. Now let's come to our CSS now. So inside the CSS now, we now want to change. I want to change this. I will change this to dot container 3 dot child. Can someone tell me why I did this? We talked about this on Sunday. Can someone tell me why I did this that I did here? Can someone tell me why I did this? Should I call in? Let me see people that are here before I start calling in. And someone that volunteer. Come on, please go on.
To select that particular child element out of the remaining distinct, the remaining.
Exactly, because I don't want we have two elements now that have class name of child. Okay, now when I do dot container 3 dot child, it's going to pick this particular child. So it's like saying that go into the container 3 and look for the element that have class name of what? Child. So it is not going to affect this one. Guys, are we together, please? Can I get a thumbs up or a reaction if we understand what I just said? Awesome. So let's go on then. Let's go back to our CSS. So now inside our CSS now, I want to style the child of this second one. Let's watch closely what is going to happen. Dot container 2 dot child. Okay, what do I want it to do? Now let's just copy this also. Paste this here, but then now it's not going to be VW. Okay. No, it's going to be VW. Sorry. And the background color is not going to be red, it's going to be, let's try, is there anything like gold? Oh, there is. Okay. See, I was not talking to you. So now, guys, let's look at this closely. Let's look at this closely. I mean, really closely. Let me do display of none to this to hide this aqua. Yeah. So now let's look at this real closely. This first div, this div 2, container 2 rather. Container 2 have a width of what? View width, 50% view width, meaning that what? 50% of the browser window. The child also have a width of what? 50% of the browser window. Hence, the child is taking 50% of the browser. Sorry. The child is taking 50% of the browser window. The parent is taking the 50% of the browser window. That is why this gold is covering the green totally. That is why we cannot see the green at all. Because we say what? 50% of the browser window. Remember I said there is difference between browser BW and percentage. When you do percentage, it takes what? It takes relative to what? To the parent element. And if there's no parent element to it, it takes relative to the what? To the browser window. Now look at this red div, which is the child of the container 3. Okay, it has what? Width of what? 50%. So now this is the parent blue. It's just going to divide the width of the parent into 2 and take half of it, because you say what? 50%. Okay, because we say what? 50%. But because we say what? For this container 2, we say what? The parent is what? 50 width VW, which is viewport width, and then the child is also what? 50 viewport width. They both have the same size because they are what? Taking the viewport width. Guys, please, do we understand the difference between viewport width and percentage now? Okay, T, I want to hear you speak. Tell me, I want to hear you speak.
I don't fully understand
I,
though.
So you
I'm
kind of
still trying to. Okay.
Still trying to grab it to same thing with that. I'm not fully understanding viewport and percentage.
okay. So this is it. Let me do something. Okay, now let's go back inside here. This is so we're going to make this child one, and we're going to have another child called child two. Now, cool, right? So now let's go back into our CSS. Inside our CSS, so this is now child one. Okay, so this one is now what child one. So now if we want to start our child two, let me just copy this, paste this down here, and I'll change this to what to two. Cool. Now I don't want this color. Yeah. So for container two, I can make the height to be what fit content. The height can actually be fit content, meaning that whatever content that is inside of it, you should fit it. So why is it not fitting? Fit content. Give me a minute. Sorry, it's supposed to be this. No, it's not. It's supposed to be okay. Yeah, auto. Oh, what is not auto? Okay, let's just resolve to this for now. Let's just resolve what we have at hand first. So, oh yeah, sure, because I made this child 100% of the parents. Oh, look at me. So let's just do the child should be, the child should be, let's just give them 200 pixels each, please. To just get to the part where we want to sit down. Okay, now 200 pixels each. And now this is, let's make this is, Bollywood. It's not Bollywood. I think it's brown. Let's just make it brown. I can't remember the name of that color. Yeah, let's just make it brown. Now, I'm going to remove these ones. Just give them display of none. I'm going to remove this. Give me a minute. Yeah, yeah. So these two should go off first. Let's focus on the parts that we are constant about. Now, look at this child two. Let me comment these two out first. Or let's do it one after the other so that we can actually see them. Remove this, remove this. Cool. Now, look at this child, look at this parent container two. Okay, we made the width to be what? 50 view width. Okay, 50 viewport width. 50 viewport width means that it's going to take 50% of the viewport width. Okay, which is actually a relative unit. We can see that. So as the size reduces, it's actually reducing. Now, the first child now, we are saying that it should have a width of what? Then let us do view it for this one first. Let's do 50%, which is what we all know. 50%, meaning that what is going to what? Take 50% of the parent element because they have a parent. If they don't have a parent, it's going to take 50% of what? Browser window, the viewport, the browser window. Okay, so if you have a div that does not have any parent, so and then you are giving it a width using percentage, it's just as good as using viewport width for it. Okay, but then now this is a child, okay, that is inside a parent. I guess, are we together? A child that is inside a parent. Now we are not saying that take 50%. The width should be what? 50%. That means it's going to take 50% of the parent size. It's not going to go outside the parent size. So if the parent is, for example, if the parent is 500 pixel in size, it's just going to cut it into two, and the size of the child is going to be what? 250
250.
pixel. Okay, it's just going to be what? 250 pixel. This someone raise their hand.
Yes. What if the child is also the height is sorry, the width is percentage? Will it still be relative to the parents?
Yes, I mean that's what we have here currently. The width of this child is 50%. So it is still in relative to the parent because it is inside the parent. If I let's look at this now. If I move this child now, child one, out of here and put it here, it's going to be 50% of what? Oh yeah, because I did the what dot container dot child one. So it's going to be what? It's going to be what? 50%. Guys, are we together, please? Oh, my screen stopped sharing. Sorry. Can you see my screen now? So you see that it's going to be what? 50% of the parent.
Yes.
Because what? Because what? It is now outside. It is now outside. So now let's take it back to what it used to be, please. So let's not divert too much. Now look at it now. It's now back in here. So we say what? Take 50%. It's just going to look at the parent. It's like you have a parent, you have a mother, you have a father, you have a parent. Whatever I don't know how to put this. So whatever property that we want to give you will be out of what your parents have. Okay. Now, I mean, my father does not have a car, and I want to inherit a car. How is that possible? Except if I want to go and steal it. So that is not possible. Okay, so you would only inherit what your parents have. So if you are giving a child 50% weight, it will only take 50% of the parent size. So now let's not go. I mean, is that part clear? Let's get that first. Is that part clear?
Yes, sir. Very clear, sir.
Cool. Now let's now go to the
Yes,
second
sir.
part. Let's now go to the second part. Now look at this one now. We are saying it should take what? 50 view width pause. Now it is not even respecting the parent. This one is a prodigal son. He's not respecting the parent. I want to get the car by all means, by crook and cran, I what days to call it. I want to get the car. So it's going to what? Adapt itself to the browser window because we said what? View width port. I'm sorry, viewport width rather, sorry. Viewport width. So it's going to go straight up to the browser window, take 50% of the browser window. Guys, am I making sense, please? Do we understand the difference now?
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Cool. Now, the way we have view, yeah, someone raised their hand. No. Oyeni Olawale. Okay. Let me run through this for the last time. Okay. I mean, we've been on this for like how many minutes now? So let me run through this for the last time. Oyeni, please unmute your mic. Please don't mute your mic. And I hope you're not in the noisy background.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm with you, sir.
Okay, now don't mute your mic because I'm going to be. Don't mute your mic, please. So first thing first, we have a parent. A parent have what? 50% of what? View width. Okay, 50% view width. That is what the parent have. Maybe this is not
Okay.
confusing. Let me use 500 pixel. Now the parent have what? 500 pixel. That
Yeah.
is what the parent have. Okay.
Okay.
Now, saying this first child should take 50% of the parent. Okay, so he's just going to look at what the parents have. Okay, what is the
Okay.
size of the parent? Is 50%. Is 500 pixel. He's just going to divide it into two, and it's going to take what? 200 pixel. I'm sorry, 250 pixel rather. Sorry, when we divide 500 into two, that's 250, right? So he's just going to take what? 250 pixel. Is that part unclear?
Yes, yes, yes.
So now, when we now say this one, the second child now should have 50 viewport width. We've made it the closing sum. Why? Because it's going to adapt itself to the browser window. So regardless of wherever you are using viewport width, I think there's an echo, so you can actually mute my phone.
Okay.
So regardless of wherever we are using viewport width, even if it's inside the great grandchild, okay, I mean, we can actually nest elements. We can have the parent with a child, and the child will have a child, and the child will have another child. Okay, I mean, we can actually have that. So regardless of wherever we are using viewport width, if it is inside the deep child, it will always adapt itself to the browser window. But when we use percentage, it's going to adapt itself to the parent. Else, if there is no parent for when we are using percentage, it adapt itself to what? To the browser window. So the only time percentage will adapt itself to the browser window is when there is no parent. But when we use viewport width, it automatically adapt itself to the browser window. Oyeni, please. Is it clear now?
Yes, I get it now. Thank you, sir.
Awesome. Very much. That's very much okay. So now the way we have viewport width, we have viewport height also. Okay, so let me just use one div. I'm just going to use one div. Yeah, let me just use one div to actually show that. So I can take away all of this one now. I don't want to take them away actually. So let me just comment them out. Okay, let me just comment them out. Sorry. So now I cannot bring this one back. So now, instead of having an height of 400 pixel, I can say you have an height of what? 100 VH, which basically means what? 100% of the viewport height. If my browser is as long as anything, just take 100% of it. Guys, is that clear, please? So moving on here. So we'll talk about mobile force, we'll talk about media queries, talk about breakpoint, and we'll talk about relative unit extensively again. So now let's quickly talk about flex. Okay, let's quickly talk about what? Flex. How many hours have we been here for? Has it been up to 2 hours already? Okay, no, not yet. So let's talk about what? Flex real quick. Okay, maybe we can actually call it a day after flex. Should we call it a day after flex? Should we call it a day after flex? Sorry, give me a minute. So now let's talk about flex. Now, let me just I will have to get rid of all of this down. Yeah, because they are already making the CSS look lengthy. So let's just get rid of it up to this point. And let's come back to our HTML and get rid of everything. Yeah. Okay, so now flex. Yeah, it's going to be empty. Yeah. So now flex. So what is flex? Flex box. Let me say flex box. Okay, what does it mean? Flexible box. So this flex means what? Flexible box. So that's what flex box means. Flexible box. So what does it do? It allows you to be able to what? Align and distribute space between amongst items in a container. Please, that in a container is very important. In a container, meaning that the elements that you want to flex, they all have to be in one container. Again, flex box means what? Flexible box. Okay, and what does it do? It allows you to be able to align and distribute space amongst items in a container. That container part is important, like I said, because what? Items that you want to align, items that you want to flex, that you want to apply flex on, would have to be in a container. Let's see this in practice. So we're going to have, I think I'm really getting annoyed of this time. I want to start using my VS Code. So we have a div with a class of what? With a class of what? Container. My container have double I. Okay. Now, the first element in here is going to be what? Let's just call, let's just call all of them the same thing. Let's give it a class name of child. Okay, and then we're going to duplicate this. Okay. Okay, so now we have this. We have a container that is wrapping around what? 3 child. Okay. Now let's come in here. We want to say dot container, okay, should have a width of what? Let's do 100%. Okay. Now a width, sorry, of 100. Where is this L coming from? Of 100%. Now, and height, it should have an height of what? Let's go with 400 pixels for now. And then let's give it a background color of, there's something called light gray. Oh yeah, there is. So light gray. Okay. So light gray. Now it has 3 child, right? Dot child. Now let's give them height of, let's just give the height of what? GHG of 100. Sorry, of 50. Let's do 50. Let's do 100%. Okay, I wanted them to take the height of the parent, and then the width, okay, should be what? Let's do 30%. And then they should have a background color, background color, okay, of what? Let's do green. Okay, bam. You see that, right? You can see them. Now, let's talk about flex. To now apply flex on these elements here, these elements that are going out, I don't want them to come down like this. I want them to appear on the same line. Okay, to apply flex, what do? I go into the parent. That is why we said items in a container, they all have to be in a container, because the flex is going to be applied on that container. So items in that container is what will get flexed. Okay, they will get aligned, and they will get aligned. Okay, so let's go into here, give it a display of what? Flex. Bam. What happens? Shim. You see that they immediately appear on the same line. They immediately do what? They immediately appear on the same line. That is flex. Now, when you have flex, if you want to flex, if you want to align items, so we have one after having your flex. So there's a property called flex direction. Okay, that is for controlling how you want your items to be flexed. Okay, by default, your item are going to be flexed on the column. Okay, by default, they are going to be flexed on the column. Okay, now, so this is flex direction. Okay, you have 2 options. Like I said, you can either do column, okay, meaning that what? Bam, they're going to what? Be in column, or you do row, which is actually the default, or you do column reverse. Okay, there is column reverse, there's row reverse. What does the reverse have to do? So the reverse part of it is this. When you do row reverse, like, okay, so all of these chart have the same color. All of these chart have the same color. I have to change their color so we can actually see them. Ish. Okay, so let's just go with child, then child 1. Then this will have child 2, and this will have child 3. Okay, now let's go back into our CSS. We can now change the color here. So I'm not going to apply the color for all of them here. I'm going to rather apply the color for them here. Sorry. So child 1 should have the color of what? Child 1 should have a color of, let's just do background color of green. Of green. Okay, that's for child 1. Oh yeah, apply child 1 to all of them. See me. This should be 2 and this should be 3. Okay. So now let's go back into our CSS. That's for child 1. Now child 2. Let's give it which background color can we be? Let's give it yellow. And then let's give child 3. Let's give it gold. So now this is flex direction row. Now, if you want to do row reverse, what happens? You see that the gold one is what will come first. So when you do reverse, it's like how should I call it? When you do reverse, it puts them like in the other
Ascending
row.
order.
Yeah, ascending order. Like it's why you put them in descending order. So let's say the ascending order is green, yellow, gold. So now reverse now brings what? Gold, yellow, green. It turns it around. So instead of having 1, 2, 3, it then turns it to what? 3, 2, 1. That's what reverse. So the same way we have colon reverse also. What does colon reverse does? You see that? It's what? It reverse the element. Okay, you see that? It's what? It reverse the element. Unlike when you have colon. You see that? So that is that about what? Flex direction. Okay. And then also, let's talk about creating space. Now, these items now are sitting well, but look at this extra space that we have to the right here. I don't want this extra space here. What do I do? So there's a property called justify content. Okay, it has options of space between, space around, space evenly, and space between, space around, space evenly, and I think start and end. So let's see what space between those. Space between. What happens? You see that it's going to push the items and create space in between them. Equal spaces though. Equal spaces between them. Guys, are we together? Equal spaces between them. If you say space evenly, what happens? It's going to create at the edge, at the middle, it's going to create even space all around the items. All around the items. Okay, that is evenly. Now, space around. What does that one do? You see that? It still creates space around that, but the space at the center is unlike when we have this space evenly. You see that this one has equal spaces all around. I mean, it gives equal spaces on all in between all the items and between the items and the parent edge. Okay, but when we do space around, what happens? It's just going to create enough space on the edges and then put the remaining space, spread the remaining space at the center. You see that? You see that? It's going to what? Spread the remaining space at the center. Okay. Now, that is what? That is for aligning content horizontally. Now, if I want to align content vertically, what should I do? So, to align content vertically, we're going to use what? Oh God, what did I do? To align content vertically, we're going to do what? We're going to use, sorry, keep mistakenly locking my laptop. So we're going to what? We're going to use what? Align items. That's what we're going to do. Okay. So now, for this, we're going to do something real quick. This is this is what they used to use to drag devs most times. They are learning how to center a div. Now let's learn how to center a div. So let's just have a div here. Let's give it a class of what? Parents. Let's call it parents. Listening to your children. So this is the parents. Now it's going to have a child. Okay. It's going to have, then let's give it a div too, but then let's call it a child. Let's rather call it a what? I'm still thinking of what we can call it. Let's just call it center. Okay, let's just call it center. Now let's go into our CSS. Now let's style the what? The parent. Okay, let's style the parent to have a width of what? Yeah, let's do an absolute unit here, 700 pixel, and the height of what? Height of let's go 700 pixel also, meaning a square basically. And then you should have a background color of purple. Yeah. Now this is the div. Now the what? Dot center now. Okay, you should have an height of, let's go with 300 pixel, a width of what? 300 pixel also, and let's give it a background color of what? A background color of is this how they spell lilac? Okay, this is not how they spell lilac. Let's see this. Oh yeah, this works. So let's just go with this, please. I'm not really good with color names. Now we want to center this div. We want this div at the perfect center of this purple. First thing first, we go into the container. Always remember, when you want to apply flex, you apply flex on the container that is holding the items. So we go into the container, give it a display of what? Flex. Bam. Nothing changes. Yeah, definitely nothing changes, because what? By default, this justification is going to be what? Justify is going to be start. So justify content now. Okay, yeah, let me just touch it. I think I didn't touch it before. You can have end. When you have end, it pushes you to the end. When you have right, also, it does the same thing, RIGHT. Still pushes it to the end. When you have start, it's going to stick it to the start. And when you have left, it's also going to stick it to the left, to the start also. So which is like the default. So now, but then that's not what we're after. Justify content. We want this thing to sit at the center. So what do we do? Justify content center. Bam. One down, one to go. So horizontally, this div has been centered. Now we want to center it vertically. So what do we do? Align items. And when we say what? Center. Bam. You see that? This div has been perfectly centered. horizontally and vertically. So for align items also, we can also have start, which is like the default. It's going to be at the start. You can also have top, which is still the default. It's going to be at the top. You can have end also, pushes it to the bottom, and then you can have bottom also, which is still the same thing. Which is still the same. Sorry, and so let's just return this back to what our center, JJ, bam. So we have perfectly centered this div. So you have learned what? You've learned how to what? Basically learn how to center a div. Guys, are we together? Are we good up to this point, please? Awesome, awesome. So I'm going to stop here. And the reason why I'm stopping here is because we've not consumed all the LMS content. So basically, we're supposed to do a brush. So I'm going to stop here for now. And yeah, Victor, go on. You can ask your question.
Please, what's the difference between the ID selector and the class selector?
Victor, did you just ask me that question? Yeah, cool. Can someone in the class answer, please? Anybody? Anybody? Anybody in the class answer?
Sorry, is your question again? What's the difference between ID selector and
class selector?
The class selector.
Okay. I think based on my own understanding, I think ID selector select a particular element, but a class selects maybe a group. I don't know if I'm right.
That's a giveaway, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so ID selector and class selector basically do the same thing. Like basically, they don't have different. I mean, the same style that you're applying. Okay, so now let's do something real quick so we can actually see that. Now, this center now that we are applying with what class name, let's change it to what an ID. Now, go back to our CSS. Now, where is the center? Let's change this back to what an hashtag. Sorry. You see that there's no difference. So the only difference that is there is when you are using an ID selector, you will use what? Hashtag. And when you are using a class selector, you will use what? Dot. Faculty. Finish. Victor, did I answer your question, please?
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
All right. So, guys, any other question, please? Guys, any other question? And also, the assignment, the first assignment is actually due today. Do we know? Guys, you guys are not talking. The first assignment is due
Is it
to,
the one for the profile and portfolio? I mean.
yes, it's due today.
Oh.
So if you've not turned in your assignment, you would want to do that before 11:59. You need why you laughing? So you want to do that before 11:59 because yeah, it's actually due today. So yeah. So I guess we'll be recording it today, and then we'll be meeting on Sunday this time around. We'll be meeting on Sunday, and I hope before that Sunday we would have consumed the LMS content. Okay, we would have consumed the LMS content. So yeah. So I'll see you guys in the next in our next meeting in our next session.
Please,
And
sorry, sir. No,
go on.
sorry, please, before you go,
Yeah.
are you going to add more lessons to what we already have, or just what has
So
been there that will be
for
there?
now, for now, just consume what you have, which is the lesson 7, 8, and 9. Though,
Okay.
there's going to be a new content. We are going to upload new content this week, probably today or tomorrow. I don't know. But just make sure you prioritize following through 6, 7, 8, and 9. You've consumed that before you go to the next part, because the next content is going to be on something else. Okay, the next content is probably going to be on JavaScript, I think. So you would want to consume the Tailwind CSS so that we can come on Sunday and have a brush through, because on that Sunday when we are coming, I mean, the only thing that I want us to talk about is Tailwind. I want us to delve into Tailwind in, if not in detail, I want us to talk about it like really, really, really deep. So we take that Sunday to talk about it fully, so that in the future when we start using it in any other frameworks that we want to use it, we won't have to be going through the crash course again. We'll just know that here we already learned Tailwind CSS, we are just applying it. Okay. So
All
guys,
right.
please,
Thank you, sir.
please.
Sir,
Yeah.
I think some for the assignments, the first one, I don't know because the numbers of people we have here with us and those who are on the front end group, it's not even the numbers. We are like 10 or 12, I don't even know. But on that group we have like 100 people. So some people does not even, I don't even know how I will say it. Some don't even know how to access
Is
the
it
assignment
that
and
people don't know how
all
to?
like that.
Is it that people don't know how to use the assignment?
I don't even know because really I'm not sure. I don't even know because people are not even joining the class, the live classes. So I really don't know that.
Okay, so is there anyone in this class that have not turned in their assignments? That is present here that have not turned in their assignment? But you want to say something? Go on.
Okay, please, can we have a fixed day for our live class, or is it going to be changing, like,
So
so that?
the reason why we actually had this class today is because the LMS content was posted on I can't remember.
Thursday,
I think
Thursday or Friday.
yeah, I think either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. I can't Saturday, either Friday or Saturday. I can't remember. So I wanted us to have a brush through, okay, so that on Sunday we'll be able to talk. I mean, I actually don't want anything to affect the with CSS on that Sunday. That's why I actually like carved out time today so that we can actually have it. I mean, our classes are supposed to be on weekend, Saturday or Sunday. Yeah, no doubt. But then it's because I want us to have that day, I mean, the next coming weekend, fully for Tailwind CSS. So,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, thank you. The second question is for the first assignment, how are we going to submit? Because I have opened the Google class.
Okay,
Sir,
so
can
for the
you
first assignment, let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen. Okay, so for the first assignment here, this is it, right? Oh, sorry, this one. I mean, see, only 11 people turned in their assignment. I could actually turn this off now, and people will not be able to submit again. But I mean, nah, let us do that. So,
Please don't do that. So please, so
so for the first assignment, you have two methods. Okay. Give me a minute. Let me just show you something real quick. I'm trying to bring up my VS code because this time around I need to bring up my VS code.
and sir,
So
the code editor you use, sir, is not like VS Code that has the auto sense, I mean IntelliSense. I'm
IntelliSense.
not sure it has it.
You should actually have IntelliSense. Okay, you know what? Let's try something. Let me log in. Because I actually did not log in, so let me just log in. Yeah, just leave it. Leave it. Let's log in. So you should actually have IntelliSense. I don't know why it's not giving me IntelliSense. I think it's because I did not log in or something. Ah, good. Let me just log in my different. Okay, so yeah. So let's see if this has IntelliSense now. It still doesn't have IntelliSense.
this one
Wow.
did not have IntelliSense, sir.
But I think he just did the
But
H1.
yeah, yeah, it did, but it didn't actually suggest. I had to type it
Yeah.
and then press
Uh-huh.
start. I had to
Because
start
for
with
we
that.
novice like this, like
Oh, he actually has intelligence. It does work. Yeah, I
uh,
just need to press tab. Yeah, I just need to press tab. Yeah. So yeah, it
okay.
does work. Yeah, it does work. So yeah, back to the classroom. So for the first assignment, yeah, you have two options. You can actually use this for the assignment. Okay, write your HTML here. You can write all of your HTML here, and then put your CSS here, and then I mean, just copy the link here. There's a way that you can actually copy the link. I think how do you copy the link again? Hey, hold on, give me a minute. Let's just rename this to, let's say this is tests. Okay. And now I want to, how do I copy the link again? What I do? This is bookmark. Okay, so give me a minute. Exactly. So I just saved it. So I should now be able to copy the link from somewhere. Oh yeah, sorry. I can actually copy the link from here. So if I copy the link in my browser window, I can actually submit this. So when I click on this, it still takes me back to that word. Still takes me back to that code pen. I don't know if you see that. So you can actually use this for the assignment if you want to. That's one. Second option is let me bring up this. So second option is this. Write your HTML and CSS in a VS Code like we would normally do. Okay? Like this. Write your HTML and CSS like then
Okay, sir.
now what? You will now compile it. Sorry, you will now compress it rather. Give me a minute. Let me also bring this other screen up. So you now what? Just compress it. So this is say this is the file. This is my HTML CSS. I am just going to come here and compress this file. So when I compress it, it brings me as a zip. I will upload this to Google Drive and I will get the link and submit it. When you are getting the link, make sure the link is public. Guys, do you understand what I mean by the link is public? Make,
Yes, yes, sir.
make sure the link is public so that we won't have to be looking for you before we assess your assignment. Please. And then you can either upload, and actually you can actually upload the drive to the classroom. Sorry, here's the classroom. You can actually upload the drive to the classroom. I mean, I've seen some people that are actually turning in files, so you can actually upload the drive to the classroom. Yeah, or put it in GitHub. Put it in Google Drive. Get the link out, submit it. That's all. So did I answer, please?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Also, you're
Sir,
welcome.
I have a question, sir.
Yeah, go on.
I want to ask: can we? Is it necessary for us to always use the div while coding? Can't we do it without div? I don't want to ask, sir.
Okay, so if you are not going to do it with div, what do we want to do it with? Because basically, yeah. Oh, Nkechi has hand raised. Sorry. So basically, yeah, we have different tags for different purposes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Another tag that could actually replace div is section. But like the name implies, section is best used. I mean, mostly used when we are following semantic. It's mostly used for when you want to have a section of a website. Div is mostly used for container, and most times you want to have a container here to hold this, a container here to hold this, another container here to hold this. So I mean, most time we want to have div flying all around our code. Yeah, but I mean, when
Okay,
it
sir.
comes to when we're talking about typography, when we're talking about text, please use the typography tags H1, H2, H3, paragraph. Yeah.
So we use div mainly for the containers.
Div is mostly used for containers. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yes, yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now, sir.
So yeah, like I said, div is mostly used for container. Yes.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, Nkechi, go on with your question.
Yes, thank you, sir. Please, I know some people have submitted. I want to plead for you to maybe give us grace because majorly because of this CSS, we are still trying to consume it. Then if we need to learn it before we can apply it to our portfolio, the HTML. Don't know if you can still give us maybe a grace of 2 days or something.
In case of how many days?
This
2 days.
Okay,
Give
so
us
Even
a
the
grace
second
of 1 day.
assignment, sir.
you know there's the second assignment, right?
that second one. Yes,
So
I know.
that
I
second
know that
assignment
one is
is
still
actually
there.
such assignment. So this is it, yeah. When you are when you are learning, when you are learning stuff, you need to be able to make your own research. You need to be able to go extra mile on your own. Hence the reason why I gave that second assignment. I want you to be able to go out on your own, make research. Okay, I've tried. I mean, I mean, I did say this in the beginning of this entire bootcamp that I want you to be able to be proactive, do research on your own, try things out. And then the essence of us meeting on the weekend would be, oh, I tried this, it did not work. Oh, I don't understand this. Oh, I need clarity on this. I want us to go out on your own, try things out, make research, have code that breaks, bring it, let us fix it together. Have things that you are doing and is not applying. Why is it not working? Bring it, let us fix it together. Let us look into it together. Okay, that's the essence of that second assignment. And I mean, we are going to be having more and more of that assignment as time goes on, of that kind of assignment as time goes on. So, yeah.
Thank you, sir. So that means we can that's what I wanted to, because it's just more or less like we use the material trying to, even the assignment I did, I have to outsource and check so I could be able to get it done because of the CSS is still I've been finding my way around it, but with this now, so
I mean,
progress.
it's quite understanding that we are still finding our way around CSS. Okay, I get. So, but then we just need to be consistent with things. Okay, we really need to be consistent with things. Okay, if you are going to be doing maybe 30 minutes extra every day, 1 hour extra every day, just to put yourself on track, I mean, it's just for while you are learning. If I can, I mean, if you can actually do 7 days, maybe 1 hour every day for 7 days, that's like 7 hours in a week. I mean, you would have helped yourself, you would have done yourself a great deal in that 7 hours of that week, of the week that you spent learning. So unlike just okay, I want to lock in today, you lock in, you do 7 hours, and then in the next God knows when you are not doing it again. So yeah, consistency is the key, and I mean it's very important. Yeah, it's very important. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So, on behalf of those who have not yet completed the first assignment, sir, is there any grace for?
Yes, that's what I wanted to ask too, because you did not answer.
I didn't want
Please,
to
oh.
answer directly actually. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys to like tomorrow. Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you, sir. Thank you so
Ending
much,
of
sir.
tomorrow. Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you,
Sir, put
sir.
up the second one, sir.
Thank you,
But
sir.
the second one is not moving from Friday. Please, please. That one is not
All
moving
right,
from
sir.
Friday.
Like
And
Friday, 11:55 p.m.
11:59.
or 59. Okay.
11:59, 59.
Okay.
11:59 minutes, 59 seconds. So also, please, that second assignment, please, when you are doing it, I mean, like I said, it's a research work. I mean, you are just going to go out there, look for how it is done. When you get how it is done, please and please try and understand why it is done that way. Don't just, oh, I've seen the solution, boom, bam, paste it. I mean, well, if you submit it, I would not know if you understand it or not. But I mean, you will do yourself a very good deal if you actually understand why it is done that way. because I mean, I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. So yeah.
But I'll talk about it, sir. I was ready.
So yeah. So please, guys, don't just carry solutions and bring it. Please understand why it is done that way. Okay, understand? I mean, we are all still trying to get acquainted with CSS. Just know why is it done that way, and okay, this is it. Oh, this is it. Oh, this is the logic behind it. Okay,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
awesome. Yeah.
Sir,
Um. Yeah. Go.
attendance.
So what did you
Is
say?
it already been taken?
The what?
The attendance.
Oh. You shall don't worry.
Because because just on behalf of some of us that have network issues, that why the call, because while we were first being in doing the introduction, then he said even if we were online for 1 hour and maybe you were able to be online for the next maybe 30 minutes, because I don't know how the record is being taken. So maybe somebody who has a network issue, or maybe a call came in and the call has to end, and then you now rejoin immediately. Won't it affect the attendance margin or the? So I just want to know about that, and all of us also, so we can know if the attendance are being taken. Yes, sir.
The attendance is being taken. Yeah, the attendance is being taken, and also I cannot say this is when it is being taken. I mean, if I say that, then that means I'm actually giving out what do they used to call it? I don't know. I'm actually giving out tips.
Expo.
AOC.
Expo basically. So I cannot say this is when it's going to be taken or this is when it's being taken. But try as much as possible to have a good network. Try, I mean, good network in Nigeria now is like is a myth. I get, but still try. Yeah, still try. Okay, and try to be on the call for at least 80% of the time on the call. At least 80% of the time on the call, please. You dropped out, you came back in. Just make sure you are on the call for at least, because trust me, if you're on the call for at least 80% for the time of the call, there's high priority that you are going to be cashed as like you're going to be cash present. So yeah,
No, sir.
yeah, thank you. All right, guys. So in absence of any other question, we can call it a day, right? All right, guys. So
Awesome.
enjoy your enjoy the remaining week. Enjoy the remaining days of the week. I'll see you guys on Sunday. Bye, guys.
All right, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.